that's a first. Live intro music.
Are we live?
We are now. Welcome in.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Kelly. Live intro music. Welcome to the stream to no one. I believe there are some ones. Hey. I wonder what happened.
What did?
Something might have happened.
You should see this control center over here.
I don't know if anyone's hearing us, Aaron.
The audio? Do you want me to check on my
phone?
phone?
Well, no, because here.
Let me check on my phone.
Well, because I had a connection thing, and it's showing me that nobody's there. So, and I had an issue previous.
It's not. It says live. Let's see what we got going on here.
No, because I had a. Oh, okay. It's coming up. All right, good. That's enough to make your head mess with your head. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
But usually, as you can see in the master control center here, you can see. Oh, they're there. Okay, it popped up.
Good to boogie.
You can.
I guess we're boogieing now.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
But also there's also sometimes the occasional misfire where I get two things playing, like a camera picks up an audio signal, and
I've consumed content that has done that,
and it's like doing the
echoey,
right, the acid trip flashback, and I don't know what's happening, and then somebody will be frantically trying to text me. It sounds crazy.
I wonder what you think an acid trip flashback is if you have no point of reference.
I only did acid once.
Yeah.
All my friends were doing it.
That's all you need for a point of reference.
And it seemed like they were really having a good time, and I really wanted to know what it was like. And I figured the safest place to do it was at a Dead show.
A lot of people.
Right.
That can be good or bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I tried to go into it with as much knowledge as possible. Once was enough for me. What I realized was once was enough.
Where was the show? Is it?
Rosemont Horizon.
Oh, that's a tough one. Outdoors
would have been better.
Me, for my money, that's always cooler when you're on psychedelics. But.
Sure. I had a lot of friends. Well, late '80s, early '90s. There was that resurgence of psychedelics, and, and the Grateful Dead, and it was fun.
It was a resurgence though. It went away for a little bit.
I think I don't. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a bit of a resurgence. Like, it wasn't so popular, then it became popular. Yeah. Maybe that was just my perspective. So.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Marsden.
Sure. No, I appreciate it. The beginning of this year will be. I'm trying to get as many talented songwriters as I can, and I think I hit the lottery getting you here first. And it's going to do a lot. As I said, it's going to do a lot for my street cred. I think. But Aaron Kelly did it, and they'll be, okay, I'll do it.
I'll recommend it to people, too. I can line you up, yes, if you want me to. Easy what you wish for.
We'll see, right. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So,
if you want to be on the show, it's 630-467-1212.
That's not the phone number. Don't call that phone number. Whoever that poor guy is, all three of you are going to call. I'm going to do a song that I wrote real quick, and then I'm going to ask Aaron a couple questions. And how about this? We'll ask this question. Do you remember the first song you ever wrote? And how old were you?
Yeah, I played a gig in Ottawa last week, and this came up. I think the host asked. It was me and another guy, and he asked both of us. And I have two funny, honest answers. My very first thing I ever put to a melody, I guess, I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I heard my mom reprimanding my brother for he'd gotten picked up by the cops. He was like 10 years old. He was throwing windows at this old abandoned building, like they do in It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Sure.
I mean, it seems innocent enough in that movie, but in the real world, you can't do that.
No.
He was throwing them at the old grain elevator in Plainfield, and the cops busted him. And when he got home, my mom said, I won't say his name, but blank, this means you're going to have a police record. And I didn't know what that was, and I thought that it meant that he had to make a song about what he had done. And so I started singing Breaking Windows in Plainfield. So I think that's my first song I ever wrote.
That's a good one.
Technically. And then in middle school, Ryan Macklin, shout out Ryan Macklin, and I wrote to a hip hop instrumental, an ode to masturbation called "Love for the Hand," and that was it still stands up as a adolescent piece.
Right.
And then after that, the first serious song I would still play is in my biology 101 at Columbia. My final project, I wrote a song called "Evolution Rocks," that kind of traces Charles Darwin's survival of the fittest and origin of species, rather. And that was the first one I was ever like, oh man, this is pretty good.
Right, you're like, oh, I think I know how to do this.
Yeah, like something. I just felt like I captured something I was trying to. How about you?
Me and my high school friends were trying to write music, and I mean, I can recall like sitting in, like high school study hall and trying to write words or trying to come up with things, but and as a kid, you couldn't keep me away from a piano or something. But the first real tangible thing that I could think of, my like from 8th grade to all the way till 24, like one of my best friends was a guy named Todd, and Todd and I wrote this song in high school, and it was Too Blind to See, so obviously taken from the Stones line, and I'm drawing a blank in the Stones song, but they used the term "too blind to see" in I am drawing a blank, but anyways, there was a girl that Todd liked that just wasn't catching on, man, or maybe she was and wasn't, whatever the deal was. But then we wrote this song, and then that was the first like song that was like a song, and we wrote a couple, and then like the third song we ever wrote, I still play. I was gonna ask. So the third one you wrote, you still which is the one I played at your open mic about the car.
Oh yeah, you said that was
dirty old car.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I even that was about my 75 Monte Carlo.
It happened to randomly come on the Apple Music, whatever station I was listening to, but $1,000 Car by Bottle Rockets. Do you have a favorite car song?
I can't think of one under pressure right now.
Little Deuce Coupe, racing in the streets.
Right.
Well, you're gonna play a tune, right?
Yeah.
Not a car song, but
I was gonna play something,
Michael Marsden
quiet
song.
and poignant about called "Tangled Rope," about the end of a relationship. So I've come to this point in the road, turned to look on yesterday, as we try to untie this tangled rope of our love. I know I tried to be everything for you. I did the best that I could. Never seemed to be enough for me, and I never seemed to be enough for you. Not very proud of the way it played out. Maybe things had to go like that. To find relief from the pain underneath was all it was ever about. I know I tried to be everything for you. I did the best that I could. Never seemed to be enough for me, and I never seemed to be enough for you. tried to be everything for you. I did the best that I could. Never seemed to be enough for me, and I never seemed to be enough for you. Never seemed to be enough for you. So now, the guest of honor.
Beautiful song.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, one of those deals where it's pretty self-explanatory. The end of the road, and it,
But that feeling is universal, though. Like you capture something in that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's right. That's all we're trying to do, right? Is at least for me, it's trying to first let the thing out. And then if it's not that, it's at least help somebody else, whether not be alone or
Not feel so alone.
right.
For
Find
3 minutes at least.
Right.
Yeah.
For 3 minutes, find a sense of like peace or just even if it's just for 3 minutes.
Yeah, or like relativity. Just somebody else feels that way too.
Right. I didn't even understand that until very recently. As I've conveyed coming to your open mic and even doing this starting a year ago, I didn't know what I was doing this for. I didn't know, and not too long ago I shared this story recently on this. I did a thing for the Alzheimer's Walk, and I played a bunch of things. One of the reasons I'm so grateful to have you here, and I am truly inspired by what you do, and you've inspired me in coming and meeting you at your open mic and seeing you present your original music in the way that you do. It's something that I have been tentative and or afraid to do for most of my life. I've always been sort of like just... And until I started doing that, I wasn't really doing that. And post coming to Preservation, I started doing it more. And I did something, and I played a bunch of songs. And there was a guy that came up to me and said that he needed to hear that stuff that day. And it really made me realize that was the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Man, those are the best moments when someone says that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I realized that made everything worth it in that moment.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even... I know that you know exactly what I mean, and I couldn't explain it to somebody who doesn't understand, but like it was like in that one moment, I realized that all the crap that I went through for 25 years of nobody ever even listening to the words I was singing, all of a sudden this one person got it. One guy got these 5 songs I played in a row.
Yeah.
It was neat.
Did you know he was getting it when he was getting it?
No.
Yeah.
No idea. So.
Wait, so when you'd play in the past then, would you play a mixture of covers and your own stuff?
Yeah, but it was always the tendency to sort of not present the originals as... I was trying to focus on them, but always being too afraid to make them the centerpiece.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
It's becoming easier.
When did you first come to Prez? When we met, what? Couldn't have been more than...
3 months ago?
Yeah, late summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not that long ago.
Man, I've met some great people through that open mic.
It's a wonderful situation. You should come to Preservation. If you
Every Monday, 6 to 9.
You should. It's a cool place.
Last year we stopped. So I picked it up in August of 2022, I think. That year, I think we went till October. Because it's if you have never been to Preservation, there's an outdoor patio element, and then there's like a covered indoor-ish bar. Last year we went till Thanksgiving, and this year they want to go indefinitely. And as long as it's above, like, last Monday it was...
that night that
it was 20 degrees outside.
It was chilly.
And probably, 31 in where we were playing, and we were the only two there. But if it's above 35 outside, especially, it feels really warm and comfortable. in that area.
They do a great job.
It's got a lot to do with the vibe too.
I don't know if it was cold. It was fun to me. I had a great time
Thanks
that
for
night.
being there.
I got to play bass, which I don't do very much, and I need to do that more. So
we had it felt like a show actually that we were hosting because we had like a variety show almost. Dennis was there to start, and then we had an appearance by TJK in the middle, and then Demi came at the end.
Right, it was fun. It was a great time.
Yeah.
So what do you want to play?
Man,
Play anything. Just because I said something earlier, that doesn't mean that you need to play.
Yeah, but I see. The host in me is like, our conversation informs what I want to play now.
Yeah, then do that. Follow that.
There's a song I wrote before Aaron Kelly Band. I was in a band. I kind of cut my teeth with my buddies in Overman was the name of the band, and one of the last songs I wrote when we were still a band was this one. It's probably 12 years ago now. But it was like about the inherent vulnerability in making your feelings rhyme and then going and playing them for anybody, much less in front of a TV screen with a bar full of people who aren't interested in connecting with that level at that moment. I think that this song is about that. And I was listening to a lot of Jimmy Buffett at the time, you can tell. Do you ever do this? Because I usually play this song up in B flat.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the song that was the key my dog always used to howl along in, was B flat. And at the end of this song, there's a coda, and every single time he'll sing, he'll howl along. He would howl along to it. And that was one of my favorite things. But we're a little bit quieter. I might play it. You ever do that? Like move the key down, bass down where you're at. Yeah. So
if my voice will do it. But
if I'm a little sharp on any of this, that's why. This is called "I Miss Them Too."
I wrote all of my best traits down. It took 'em about 25 seconds and a couple half-written sentences about how I'm a pretty good guy. At least I tried. At least I tried. So I sunk straight into a dismal daze. I tried to parlay it to song, but the second verse didn't match the first verse hurt. The timber of the bridge was all wrong. It's no sing-along, but I sing along. I wrote all of my best friends back. I know I'm bad at keeping in touch. They all told me, buddy, we love you like a brother, but we all miss you so dang much. I miss them too. I miss them too. It's just that I cook all of my meat with the fat. When I write, I like to chew on the grit. I even make some money, so who's a getting hungry? I'm taking what you'll pay me for it. I'd pay you too. I'd pay you too. Cut my grass and I pay my tax. I stumble but I walk the line. It's just hard to quantify the amount of time and bread it takes to make words rhyme. I keep on trying. Bless us for trying. So So I wrote all of my best traits down. This time it took like 205 seconds and a couple of half-written sentences about how I'm a pretty good guy. At least I tried. At least I tried. Down. I won't let my baby down. I won't let my baby down. I won't let my baby, won't let her down.
Yeah. He's probably barking at me for playing that in G instead of B flat.
I realized that you sound better when my mic is muted, so I muted it.
Thanks for making adjustments. It sounds really good in my phones.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
It's good to be able to play off the mic a little bit and know where the levels are. Yeah.
That was great. I don't think I ever heard that one. No, I recognize a lot of things. Obviously, I've been hearing you play a couple songs every week now, and then I've seen you a couple times, and but then every now and again I hear something and I go, "Well, I haven't heard that one," so that's I enjoy.
I got a bunch more.
Yeah, right.
That sounds really cool.
I enjoy that.
I think the closing sounds especially.
That's the stereo one. The real super high definition one is that one.
That's fun.
That's the one with the big preamp on it and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see. I wrote down some other questions. What is your favorite color?
I think it's blue.
Blue?
Yeah.
Is there a specific blue?
What's that? What's the one that's in the Guggenheim? Something Klein.
You don't have to answer today. You can get back to me.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Yeah.
I'll tell him next week.
What is it?
And then, do you have a favorite number? We talked
Yeah,
about sports a little.
I think I do. The Yev's Klein, Untitled Blue. Let me see if I can get it to the camera. This is the blue here.
Well, there it is. It just looks like a screen. There it is. Oh yeah. No, that's perfect.
Oh, it's not.
Okay. Somehow it doesn't really have the same effect though.
What's your favorite color?
Orange.
That was my dad's favorite color too. I've had luck with people whose favorite color is orange.
Orange.
Yeah.
I once orange is the official color of MeL Muzic. If you notice the orange tape things.
Right on. What was the other question?
You have a favorite number?
Oh yeah, I think, and I didn't know this was a significant number to some people until I saw Billy Strings had the same number tattooed. 33. I have it tattooed right here, up there. You can't really see it, but and that's the way that it looked on the mailbox in the house where I grew up. I grew up there. My parents got divorced. I split time between there and my mom's place. And then moved away, went to college, came back to college, lived in a band, graduated college, lived in a house with my band. And
the same house?
No, lived in a different house. My dad and my brother and my brother's kids were still living at that house in Plainfield where I grew up, 33 Lockport Street. That was before they switched to the 5-digit addresses.
Oh.
So I grew up in 33 Lockport Street, and so we called it the 33. And then when my dad, I was ushered my dad into the next life in his room there in that house, and when that happened, instead of selling it, my band and I moved in and assumed the mortgage for a few years till the chimney collapsed.
Oh.
And then we sold it to the Plainfield Historical Society because it was the second oldest house in Plainfield, and it was part of the Underground Railroad, so it has historical designation, and so that number's always been the 33, and I wanted to get it tattooed just in solidarity with my family. And
Right on.
so I'd say that's probably my favorite number. When I remember answering that question in elementary school, and I said my favorite number was 8. I don't know why. I just thought it was a aesthetically pleasing number. Curvy. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have a favorite kind of ice cream?
Yeah, what is it called? I've been big on, like, traditionally, I would say, I don't know, cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip. But I've been really big on, there's a Ben & Jerry's flavor called Netflix and Chilled. And I've been getting the non-dairy, it's a gluten-free, or no, it's not a gluten-free flavor, is it? But they have a non-dairy version of it that it's made with almond milk. Because sometimes, I'm not lactose intolerant, but sometimes with certain things my stomach feels it, so maybe I am partially. But Ben & Jerry's has a non-dairy line that's really good, and that's my favorite flavor. Netflix and Chilled.
Right.
Non-dairy or regular, they have it. It's so good they have it in both ways.
Depending on how you feel.
Yeah.
All right, you got another one?
Your favorite? Can I play a song about ice cream?
Sure. My favorite ice cream is just vanilla.
Yeah. I mean, that's
French
if I had to live
vanilla,
with
man.
one the rest of my life, it would be that. Yeah.
It's always first choice.
Yeah. Favorite brand of vanilla? Edie's is good, no?
Yeah.
I always liked their vanilla when I was a kid. Doesn't matter.
It's high end, like just like the extra, super bad for you, super creamy, super.
Oh yeah, that's when it tastes the best.
Right. French vanilla,
yep.
like thick, dark yellow.
I was just kidding. I don't have an ice cream song.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's kind of a bummer to think you're going to hear an ice cream song and then have it taken away from you.
Yeah, that's it. Get out.
Like a Bears victory.
Well, I'm pretty used to that.
USPS song?
Sure.
Or yeah,
Whichever one.
a special delivery.
Well, that's for the dumb joke of the day when we get to the end.
That's what that is?
Yeah.
Like the Great Karnak?
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me.
I just got the mailbox though, because I've been threatening to get a mailbox for the entire time I've been doing this. I've been saying.
So then.
I need to. Oh, there we go.
Right?
Yeah, of course. I'm new at this. Right. I've been saying for months. I just need to get a mailbox. I need to get a mailbox. And then like 2 days ago, I went to Menards and I was like, I'm gonna get a mailbox.
Yeah. So I'm your first guest with
the mailbox.
Since the mailbox has been installed.
Absolutely. It's not really installed. It's just.
It's not up to code. I think it has to be a little bit higher too. There's certain standards.
I don't know. I couldn't reach it.
Well,
42
what
inches.
a segue this is. Thanks for letting me keep my water in there.
Of course.
No free ads.
This is I'll tell the story. My reason I like this song is when I first, I went to Preservation and I listened to you play a couple things, and then the first time I looked up your stuff on Spotify, and I was doing stuff in the backyard, and I was listening to stuff, and then this song came out. I'm like, right on. And I like this song. And then I was like, before it even got to the verse where you talk about, because we had talked a little politics, before you even get to the verse where you talk about the Accountability Act, I'm like, I wonder if he knows what happened. And then you get to the third verse, I'm like,
we were on the same page, man. Yeah. The perfect way to end this song would be.
So this is my favorite song. I love this song.
Should I tell the story how it came to be?
Absolutely.
Man, oh man. That might be my favorite song I've written, is the story of this song. It was, and I just came across, I'll go back through old notebooks and read stuff, and I just I remember going through, or seeing the other day, the first scribblings of this.
You mean like this? Like piles and piles of notebooks? Right.
I used a standard black composition book, but I have a lot of those. I started on those.
Right.
Spiderbound. And when I first started, so it was October of 2020, right before the election, and because we were voting by mail, a lot of people were the post office was just getting a ton of crap. Everybody was criticizing it and not believing in it, and I took it more personally than I thought I would. I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, you're getting defensive of a government institution, huh? And I thought about it, and it made sense. I'd always known the name of my carrier growing up, Mr. Kinley. I used to have subscriptions to magazines, and I don't know, just every day it was something that was routine, and I knew where the mail truck parked on Eastern Avenue there. And so I was like, okay, well, there's no gigs. We're just literally sitting at home doing not much. Let me try to write a song about, because, we write songs about places that hurt.
Oh, yikes.
We write songs from places of hurt and of all kinds of places, but sometimes it's like a more lighthearted task, or that's what the assignment is something like this. And so I started to think about what a song about the post office would be, and talking blues seemed like a good form for that, in the tradition of Woody Guthrie and Cisco Houston and all those cats, Dylan Towns. And so my first verse, when I first started it, I looked up the names of the postal carriers on the Andy Griffith Show, and it was George Bricker. It was and I had 3 or 4 of them, and because I wanted to capture the innocence of the time of the 50s, And then as I got further on, I was like, no one knows that's who these are. So I replaced it with more famous names who worked for the USPS at one point in their life.
I know those names.
Yeah, right. The ones that are in it, of course, everybody does. Maybe not Prime, but I think most people who listen to me probably do. But when I finished the song, I was like, okay, I captured. I was very proud of it, and I think I even posted it, and I was like, I can't wait to play this live, And I thought about what the story would be before the song when gigs came back, and I got it in my brain. I wanted to use the lyrics in some kind of an official government form. I wanted the government to know what I had done for them.
To the post office.
I think that's what it was. Now this feels like a therapy session, because I think that's what it was. I was like, why would I feel the need to use the lyrics? I wanted them to see them, I guess, and so I used the lyrics as a cover letter on an application to work for the post office. As a mail carrier out of a rural carrier out of the Aurora office, and I thought that if you used a poem as a cover letter, it disqualified you from any job, other than being a poet, maybe.
Right. Who is this?
Yeah, like it's next.
Right.
Not taking it serious. But that wasn't the case. They offered me the job very quickly, and it felt, there was no gigs, and it felt really un-American to turn it down. So I ended up delivering mail in Aurora for 14 months between, I guess it was, I got hired 4/20 of 2020.
It's easy date to remember.
2021, April 20th of 2021, and stopped July of 2022. And it was awesome. I met some people who I still talk to. I understand why people stay there their entire life. I really enjoyed the work, but then gigs came back, and I couldn't do it anymore. There was like a 2 or 3 month period where I was going straight from a route to a gig. What a feeling. Some mailmen came and see me. It was great. So this is the song that I wrote as a love song to the USPS. It's called The Talkin' USPS Blues. It got me the job. And a free hat. And rear-ended. And
That's a different story.
Intro,
You'll have to come to a show to hear that story. I've heard that one.
Remember Benjamin Franklin or John Prine, Abraham Lincoln or this cousin of mine? Well, they all made an honest living working for the U.S. Mail. Now for Pony Express preschool me, my first recollection of the post office be the mailman bringing them Christmas catalogs. Yeah, and up through the years they were always on time, a model of consistency and national pride authorized by the U.S. Constitution, might I add. You see, Columbia House meant endless CDs, publishers clearing, lottery dreams, and what's that magazine for Dad wrapped up in plastic? Postcards, report cards, or birthday cards from Grandma. I say, oh yeah, get it done if you want to send something to someone you love. Way over yonder just to stay in touch, you can do it through the U.S. Mail. Then you graduate to professional stress and get your very own address. Mailbox, envelopes, packing tape and stamps. And it starts to feel a little more like home when you see that familiar uniform walking up the drive with all your stuff. And through rain, snow, cold and heat, and the gloom of night and tired feet, always with a smile they deliver. Yeah, but more than sentimental, it's a functional necessity, bedrock for a country claiming such legitimacy. It's a messenger of sympathy, a promoter of peace and goodwill among men and nations. Talk a Deutsch now, wee, if you want to send something overseas. Pen, pad, letter, wheel of cheese, you can do it through the U.S. mail. And in 2006, what the president did is sign into law this act that exists solely for the deliberate sabotage of a perfectly good public institution. It's called the Post Office Accountability Act. It's an arbitrary mandate revenue tax that says they gotta pay like way in advance 50 years worth of health and benefit plans. So now their P&L's red and they can't invest and they're way in debt. And to the public eye, well, it's a pretty good mess and ripe for the picking of the private sector scavengers. And then 2020 hit and tried to break its back, but the postal worker said, you can forget all that, we got a job to do, so get out of the way. We'll show you what makes America great. We say, good try, no, and you gotta stay home, but you still wanna vote. Maybe even save the world as we know it. You can do it through the U.S. mail. We did it through the U.S. mail. Long live the U.S. mail and all the postal workers. Long live Rural Route 8. You're hired.
I like that one. That's good. All right, I got one. The first thing I would say is my one serious question is what is your why? Why do you do this?
I think it's the moment that you talked about. I think it's the purest and most rewarding and deepest connection I've felt, not only to myself but to other people. And I had a professor, an English professor, Sayset at Columbia, who was writing composition or something class, and she told me that I was kind of good at it, and I didn't know what I wanted to do as a junior in college. Really, my major was art, entertainment, and media management, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted a life in the arts, but I didn't know if I could. Nobody I knew had ever done that. My dad was a diesel mechanic, Mom was a preschool teacher. And then I tried it, and that first Evolution song got me a good grade, but it also connected me with a lot of science people, and I saw a reaction from that, and I wrote something that came from more of a personal side, and I had a connection with family or friends who felt that way too, and so that, I think, is when I started to be more in touch with that why. And when you ask the question, it can be a startling question, because it's almost like, you certainly you have a why, right? I don't think everybody does. And
well, not everybody knows,
how to identify it, or
and if you don't, that's cool. Even if you're not sure, because I think part of why I'm asking is somehow going out and playing open mics and doing a lot of this stuff recently. There's a handful of people who seem to think that I'm some kind of an expert for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they do. Whatever vibe I'm giving off in whatever situation.
You have a sage-like...
Well, I've done it a long time, but I'm not... I've had zero success or whatever. Nobody's paid any attention.
You've had success in ways.
In ways, but
yeah.
Right, exactly. But what I had said this to somebody recently, and it stuck in my own head, because I think I just figured out for myself finally, after doing this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
For me, what it was. And I didn't even really realize that. And that's why I'm curious.
Yeah. People
who, I've said again, goofing around with ice cream and colors, but in all seriousness, I invited you here because I admire what you do and how you present your work, and your work is outstanding, and your songwriting is great, and you have the ability to draw people in. And I've watched the, I not only after listening to you at first, then when I go back, then I start watching the audience as a observer. Now I'm a student.
I do that too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So now I'm watching the audience, and you have the ability to pull people in, and they're listening, and they're paying attention, and how you're doing that, and so out of admiration, then so I'm watching that, but I'm curious then, when I see somebody I admire for a reason, I'm going to invite them here and ask them the same question, because I want to learn as many things as I can.
Is the why ever evolving, or is it?
It must be. I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't think it will stay the same. It will continually.
But
because I know, as a kid, the why, they always say the why, is to get girls. It starts or to whatever, but it's always about some kind of connection.
That's what it was at first when I first when I just answered. But I realize now, one of the stickers I sell, it's just a make empathy great again sticker.
Right.
And people love it. And
that's the one I gravitated
for. Right. But I realized it's not so, it's about the connection, but it's also about, this can make someone feel better. Not only do I want to try to relate that, but I also want someone else to see that's how this person felt. That sense of empathy and wanting others to be empathetic too. Because I feel like creativity and empathy are endangered species these days.
Feels like it.
Yeah, and that's
part
of my why too. Is I want to, be all of that.
Awesome. Well, it seems like we could keep going, but we've been going for a while. Do you want to play one more, and then we'll?
Yeah, you want to play one more?
No. This is about you. I would love to hear you play something.
So I did the. I missed them too. I did the post office one.
What do you think?
What is it? Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday. Yeah. Why, you got a Tuesday song?
No, I'm not Leonard Skinner.
Are you left-handed? No.
Huh?
You're not.
I have that. My band just put out that single, but I don't want to play that one because that's heavy.
But you should go listen to it.
It's called "Look What They've Done to Us." It's available on all streaming platforms by Aaron Kelly Band. I was never on American Idol though.
That was.
You said you were...
I was supposed to. It was on my list of questions, and I didn't get to it.
Different Aaron Kelly.
Right. How was American Idol?
But you knew I wasn't. But you still were going to ask me.
I was going to ask you.
So then I would reflect on the first time I'd ever seen it, maybe. But how was American Idol when you first got to know it?
How was American Idol? Because when I looked up, in doing my research, I looked up Aaron Kelly stuff, and I found that there are multiple Aaron Kellys.
Well, there's two. And then 3, 4. There's a footballer, I think. No, there's a cat in England who reviews football.
Which
former wide receiver for Pittsburgh, maybe?
But there was was the gospel album yours?
No.
Okay, so I thought I found maybe I.
No.
Okay, so then the kid from American Idol,
whose big hit was his cover of "I Don't Wanna Miss a Thing."
Yeah, right. That was what popped up, right? Yeah. And then, but then you had. So was an early record of yours
"Barefoot and Bottomed Out"?
Right, that one. But L.A. Lights, is that you?
Nope.
Okay, so there's another Aaron Kelly.
I think that one is the same as the American Idol one. I think it's just me and him.
That sounded like a jam band.
Actually, there may be a new Aaron Kelly on the scene.
So that was why I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like this doesn't sound like it's electric and it's a jam band, and I've never heard any of this. Now I'm getting confused. And then when I saw the American Idol, I'm like, okay, wait. Now I'm just gonna ask how American Idol was.
This happened to me once before, not with Aaron Kelly, but we played that band Overman I was talking about. We played the Taste of Chicago once. First time playing it, big gig for us. And the Chicago Tribune arts and culture section did a kind of like a hit list of, check this band out, skip this band, see this band. And they had listened, they said we were one to skip, but they had made that review based on a 1990s Michigan punkish band, very garage rockish. They thought it was us, and they said just skip them. I've never gotten a review for my version of it. Don't want to miss a thing though. Luckily,
You should track that guy down now and go, hey,
dude,
you ruined my
I
life,
emailed
man.
him like,
Right.
dude, do your due diligence, man. That's not us. I won't say his name, but I think he's still employed by the Tribune Company.
Not too many people are.
Like a year later, I was still sending him an email like, "Hey, I didn't forget about this."
That was not us, man.
I'll play that one you mentioned earlier, Brothers Lament.
Sure, I love that song. It's great. You have a lot of great songs. That's one of my favorites.
I do tend to forget about songs sometimes too. You know,
Yes.
you probably do the same thing. Songs. Yeah, I got that one.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
This is a song I wrote. My first year at college, I got a call from my dad. So I was raised in a mixed family. My dad had 4 boys, and then their mom just kind of checked out. And then my mom had a boy and a girl, and their father was killed in a car accident. So they were both single parents, with 7 actually, I should say, between them, and they came together and had me. And I had my sister taught me a lot about how to be a man. My brother Brandon taught me how to play sports, and my brother Dan taught me how to play music. He was a visual artist. He was a guitar player. He was just a kind of a renaissance man, even as a teenager, it seemed like. And my first year at college, I got a call that he had been hurt at work, and he was paralyzed from the waist down. So I rushed home, saw him, and then for the next 9 years, he treated that with a lot of Oxycontin, and there was high-lows and in-betweens. In that time, we played a lot of guitar together and got a chance to know each other in a way that we wouldn't have if he didn't get hurt, which I'm grateful for. But for him, especially, it was very physically and emotionally painful, and his body made it about 9 years. And then I saw him. He helped me put a pickup to my guitar 2 weeks before I got the call that he had passed. One of those things where I went from the top of the world. I had opened up for Local H the night before, and I was coming home, spent the night at my friend's house, and was coming home. I got the call, and I was riding in my buddy's car. And then my brother Brandon we lost earlier this year. So this is a song really that's just trying to work through some grief, you know. Brandon, we still had Brandon when I wrote it, but I do mention him because I kind of saw what was coming, you know, a little bit, and that makes two very different kinds of grief. With Dan, it was a long, like, his body can't. You knew eventually he would die younger than he needed to, or should. And then with Brandon, it was like, either I'm gonna get a call, I'm gonna go find him, or I'm gonna get a call, because we lost, you know, it was a couple of years we hadn't heard from him, and then we got the call. And this is for anybody who really misses anybody, I guess. It's called The Brothers Lament.
Lately I've been trying to talk to you. You're so good at everything you do. A bad dream come true. You were destined to. And I've been working hard to cash these checks. You can do it right on your phone now. What the heck? It's such a different mess than it was when you left. Roads still drive me home, songs still sing sweet, but it would have been better if you were here for everything. I can still hear you looking for a melody. I remember learning all night long early morning versions of heavy metal songs. You said welcome home, sanitarium. Now Brandon's got depression worse than Dad. He tried to call it quits, but he even failed at that. Is how it probably lands with a troubled man. Roads still drive me home, songs still sing railroad line, it starts where I live. It runs 30 feet north of your grave in Sheridan. One day I'll hop right in and see where it ends. Past the river and the prison and the memories, through Ottawa and all the way to Galilee, where our family tree can grow wild and free. Roads still drive me home, songs still sing, they sound sweet, but it would have been better if you were here for everything. I can still hear you looking for a melody. It would have been better if you were here for everything. I can still hear you looking for a melody. It would have been better if you were here for everything. I can still hear you looking for a melody. It would have been better if you were here for everything. I can still hear you looking for a melody.
Pretty stunning.
Thanks, dude.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thanks.
It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Aaron
Thanks a
Kelly,
lot.
Aaron Kelly Band. On anything that you're looking for, you'll find him.
Thank you, Michael. This has been really, really.
This is
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
the same.
Wait.
Oh
hang
wait.
on. Oh.
Right. Dumb joke of the day.
Were you? Did you know?
Well, this is Fred.
I've been looking forward to this all day.
Right. That's Fred. Fred. I try to get him to say other things.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. See, that's fun to see you try to figure out how. All right, there you go.
Oh, it's like a screaming goat.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Right, is it-
push? Just push. All right. So, dumb joke of the day. I would I say you read it.
Thank you. Oh. Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be fun if.
Really?
Okay. That's experience right there.
Not
So
my
I had
first
to.
time.
I tried to print it, but I had to handwrite it. So.
Oh, it's from our buddy. This is from our buddy Joe Saldana.
That's for my brother.
That's your brother?
No, that's a joke for my brother that my brother would get.
Who does Joe Saldana exist?
Joe Saldana is a race car
Damn.
driver.
Oh,
My family, when I was a little kid, my family was involved in racing. My dad was a mechanic on
Stock
a race
car?
car. They're what's called open wheel racing. So like sprint cars and midgets and so Joe Saldana was a race car driver when I was a kid, and so when we were little and playing in the dirt, you would pick which driver you were, and so. Anyways, I try to pick funny names, and that was one for my brother.
is he watching?
He watches every week. I'm sure he is.
What's his name?
Rafe?
Rave?
Rafe.
Hey, Rave. This one's for
Rafe
you.
is Aaron.
From
I'm sure you'll meet one of these
Joe
days.
Saldana.
Right.
Is he still with us?
Yeah.
Joe's?
Yeah, I believe so. Rafe would know. Though.
Is he still driving or racing?
No, he's an old man now. He's one of his kids. His kids drove. One of his kids, Joey, but he probably doesn't even drive anymore. Anyways,
Well, this is a joke from him.
right.
I don't know if it's the fastest joke, but it sure is going to be a funny one, I'm sure.
It's dumb for sure. That's because it's the dumb joke of the day.
Say, Mike,
Yes.
did you hear that the parsley farmer lost his lawsuit?
He did.
Yeah. They had to garnish his wages.
I got to get a drum in here and a cymbal.
Yeah.
It's next.
Or at least a keyboard shortcut.
Well, that's it.
Oh,
Eventually,
yeah, there it is.
but that's not online yet. So, anyways, that's our dumb joke of the day. Coming up, I have a number of events. You can go to melmusic.com if you're interested. The Arcada in January. We're playing at O'Neill's in Lombard. Anything pertinent for you you'd like to direct the large number of viewers that are currently watching?
If you're gonna be in Woodstock, Illinois this Saturday, I'll be playing at the Farmers Market.
Ooh.
Yep. And then Saturday, I'm in Ottawa with Miles Nielsen, Kelly Stewart, Dan Hubbard. They invited me back for another Harbor Stories. It's in Ottawa. I think it's sold out. But and then Monday, Preservation. Next week we'll do the John Prine thing at Space.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, a couple times a year, my buddies and I get together in a band called the Illegal Smiles, and we play all John Prine songs.
I got to see the unplugged version of that, and I said, I don't know very many John Prine songs. And then it turned out I knew almost everything he played. So.
Yeah, he's one of those songwriters. That was at Crooked Arm, great new record shop.
And it was great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Thanks for being there.
I enjoyed that thoroughly. So.
And then, other than that, just Aaron Kelly Band online. Stream our stuff, listen to us, come to our shows.
Thanks again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so as the great Ray Rayner used to say, you gotta. Where's my mouse? This happens to me every time. I gotta find it. Where is it? There it is. Gotta get it over here. All right, so on the way out, I even get live out music. All right, bye, bye, bye.